Wildlife shooting is probably one of the most fascinating and challenging activities that a filmmaker or a photographer can do. Being immersed in nature, in silence, and being in contact with animals is something incredible. I've started shooting wildlife more or less 5 or 6 years ago when I was given my Tamron 150-600 as a gift. I've spent tons of hours in the woods, in the forest near where I live, searching for the small inhabitants of those places. I shoot video as a job, but first of all, this is a passion. It is an artistic expression. And I find my expression through the photos and videos of nature, landscapes, mountains, forests and animals, wild animals. I had to start from scratch at some point. And with today's video I want to give you the advices that I wish I had received when I started wildlife photography and filmmaking. Before we begin, my name is Stefano, I am a filmmaker from the Italian Alps who is specialized in documentaries, content creation and videos of events. If you don't want to miss any future video that I will be uploading on this platform, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to activate the little bell. Now let's start with the video. It will sound trite, but nothing will hinder you more on your path than comparing yourself to others. When I've started, I was used to compare my works, my photos and videos with other contents produced by professional photographers and filmmakers, for example from National Geographic. And believe me, this was extremely discouraging to me. It was very stressful to me because my clips and pictures were not even close to those of the great nature photographers. I was used to look on the internet for pictures of polar bears, whales and other animals that are very difficult to find. If you want to find those kind of creatures, you need organization, you need to start a real expedition, a big expedition. And this will require a lot of money and time, without considering the experience that allows great photographers and filmmakers to take great clips and pictures that you will be able to achieve only with time and practice. So if your pictures aren't good enough, don't worry, you just have to continue practicing and learning. The first thing that I suggest you to do if you want to start wildlife photography is to look around you. I know that this will sound simple, said from someone who lives in a very small town nestled in the middle of the mountains, but it is true. If there are some trees near where you are, you should start looking for the birds that live in those trees. If you live near a river, start searching for the animals that live in the river. And what if you live in a big city? Well, look at this picture. This is one of my all-time favorite pictures that I ever took. And I was not in a forest, I was in Boston. 2 years ago I went for a trip in Boston as a tourist, and in a park I found this little guy. And personally, I think that it doesn't matter if this picture was taken in a city or in the middle of a wild forest. If it is a good picture, it is a good picture. Of course, if you live, for example, in the Alps or in Northern Europe or near a big river basin, you will be advantaged, because in natural places it's easier to find animals. But before spending all your money to go on a safari to search for a lion, I strongly suggest you to start searching for animals near where you live. Because, spoiler, if you go on the other side of the world to shoot a certain type of animal that you always have dreamed to catch without any experience, your photos will not be good. It will not be worth it. Start taking pictures of animals that live near your house. Start practicing. Because the pictures you are going to take as a beginner will not be good, will not be the best pictures. And that's completely normal. If you want my advice, start taking pictures without having to travel a lot to find animals. Start searching animals near where you live. And then, once you've learned how to take good photos, start traveling, start searching for more far away animals, more unique creatures. This is just my advice, you are completely free to spend all your money to travel and take bad pictures. I've done once, I've traveled on the other side of Italy to take a specific picture of a specific animal, as I will say later probably, and I had a lot of fun. I have to admit that I had a lot of fun, but I was a beginner and the photos that I've taken are not the best actually. Probably I've taken just 1 or 2 decent pictures. I also took every chance that I got to go nearby my neighborhood to search for animals to use as subjects of my photos. That's how I learned to compose a frame, to use autofocus and to patiently wait for an animal to arrive. Now, you've learned a lot by shooting animals you can find nearby the town you live in, and now you want to start searching for a more particular animal, for example a deer. That is also one of my favorite subjects. My personal favorite picture that I've taken in all my life that I will show you at the end of this video is a picture of a deer. Anyway, you want to shoot a video of this animal or to take a picture of this animal. What are you going to do? Start doing some research. I will suggest you to go to the library because it sounds a lot cooler, but believe me, Google is a wonderful instrument and you can find on the web all the information that you need. Search for the best places to find this kind of animal, search for the best period of the year, the best time of the day to find this creature. In this, wildlife photography is very similar to hunting. I am not a hunter, but I know a lot of hunters, and I remember that a couple of years ago I've asked to one of these hunters the best time and the best place to find a raw deer. I applied his advices and with a lot of patience was able to catch them, even if it was the wrong season. I've positioned myself with my camera hidden in a place where there are a lot of hunting cabins, and at the end of the day I was able to shoot 2 of them, 2 raw deers. For example, some years ago, actually when I was a beginner, as I've said before, I wanted to search for an heron to catch. And I've started doing some research and I found that in Italy there is a specific place which is the Po Delta that is full of those kind of animals. Then I've done a trip of some days in this place and I took a lot of pictures of this kind of animals. We are talking about a lot of years ago, but however, it was a very fun weekend and I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of practice. By doing extensive research, you may find that there are special lookouts where you can spot animals. One of my favorite places like this is located a little bit far away where I live, but it is a great spot to find deers. For example, I know that in Slovenia there are some cabins where you can sit down and stay for entire days and you will probably see a bear. For many people, going to these places might seem like cheating. You must not confuse these places with zoos. Now, photos of animals in the zoos are not photos of wildlife animals. Our photos are pictures of caged animals. If you sit down in a specific cabin and take a clip of a bear, it will not be a video of a caged bear. It will be a video of a wild bear took by a filmmaker that knows where to find these kind of animals. A good clip, a good video, it's a good video, and if there are some specific places that allows you to take good videos of a specific animal, I don't see why you can't take advantage of them. If you are used to shoot outdoor videos, for example in mountains, you will be probably used to find yourself in razor's edge situations. Nature, mountains and basically the world outside present a lot of risks and dangers. If you find yourself in the mountains, will maybe be a landslide. If you find yourself in the open sea, a storm may come. And if you are going to search for an animal, maybe this animal can't be happy with your presence. Nature is unpredictable. Even if you are extremely careful, there is a risk to be attacked by an animal. You must pay attention when you're walking to not step on venomous snakes, for example. Even deers, if you encounter them in the wrong season, can attack you with their antlers and become very dangerous. You must be careful, believe me, and if you can, take advantage of specific facilities made for wildlife photographers. For example, bear watching cabins that are safe even if a bear comes close to you. I told you this not just to protect yourself, but also to protect the animals. Your foreign presence can be very dangerous for a wild animal. When you go into a forest to see some animals, you're entering in someone else's house. You must be very silent, invisible, and above all of this, respectful. One of the most complicated aspects when taking an image of any kind is being able, in one single frame, to tell a story. Look at the best wildlife photos, the ones that win awards and that stand on the top of this field. Many of these tell a story, and it is very difficult to take such photos. It's basically difficult to take pictures of wild animals, but it is even more difficult to catch them on a specific moment, to catch them on delicate and important moments. One of the photos that I've taken so far, which is my favorite one, is the photo of a baby deer which is sunbathing in the exact moment when some snow is falling on his head. This photo is very actually simple but fun. It tells a specific moment, it tells a little story, and it is more nice, it is a better photo than a simple photo, a simple portrait of a squirrel. Definitely a good photo, but not a great one. A lot of photographers and filmmakers tells you that gear doesn't matter, that you don't need specific gear to take good photos or good clips. And it is not true. Gear matter. And wildlife photography requires a very specific kind of gear. Starting from a camera. Shooting wildlife, you will not find yourself close to your subject probably, so a camera with a crop sensor will be very good for this kind of photography and filmmaking. Speaking about lenses, you will definitely need a telephoto, even a simple 70-200. If you're starting now wildlife photography, I don't suggest you to invest too much on telephoto lenses, because you might get bored on this activity, and it will be a great shame to have spent a lot of money on something that you actually haven't even liked. Instead, if you shoot other kind of photos or videos, I strongly suggest you to invest on a good tripod. This is the best investment if you're starting now any kind of photography and filmmaking, because a tripod will maybe even last forever. Meanwhile, a camera or a lens have a very short life. Anyway, the best thing to do if you want to improve your skills in photography, in any kind of photography and filmmaking, is to learn a lot and to do a lot of practice. So my advice is to get out of your house and start shooting. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, I invite you to hit the like button and to leave me a comment with your opinion on this topic, or even if you are an expert photographer, to leave in the comment section down below your advice to beginner photographers and filmmakers. See you in the next video. Ciao!